Hey, Adriane.
Marina, let's talk about something serious, like water.
Oh, thank you. I needed that reminder.
So, dehydration is a very serious issue. What it is when we use up more water than we take in, which we all know can lead to deficit.
Right. And as we age, it becomes harder for our body to hold on to the water. As a matter of fact, Adrienne, did you know that 40% of people over 60 years old are chronically dehydrated?
Yeah, and it's serious because dehydration can lead to fatigue, confusion, very serious health problem, and can even be life-threatening, such as infections. Why does staying hydrated matter as we age? Let's talk about that.
Well, you're right, Adrienne, because water is necessary for nearly every bodily function, from lubricating your joints to pumping blood to your muscles. And if we don't get enough of water, we're not getting enough of our body working at prime speed. So this is not just a serious consequence that it can lead to, but it can actually lead to death. That's why dehydration is a common cause of hospitalization in 65-year-old and over
Yeah.
demographic.
Yeah. So, staying hydrated, it becomes more challenging as we age. So, let's talk about that.
Right. So, kidney function. Our kidneys decline with age. I hate to tell you this. And do you know how you get up and you pee more often when we get older? Well, it's true. And all that peeing is causing us to lose valuable fluids and leading to more dehydration.
You know what? Older people do feel less thirsty because their natural sense of thirst weakens as we age.
That's crazy, right? I mean, and just when we need more water, our body's telling us we don't. It's like lying to us. It's ridiculous. So other issues we have here are like the heart disease and diabetes. Now, they're really bad. Not only do the diseases actually disrupt and make it hard for the body to regulate fluid intake and the way it uses fluid, but often we're on medications that cause us to lose fluid. And for example, of course, is diuretics.
Yeah, diuretics, any kind of medication, they can dehydrate you. They can constipate you as well, and that leads to dehydration.
There's that constipation again.
You got to go through the constipation, right?
It
I
keeps
mean,
coming back.
constipation, of course, we talked about it. A lot of older people experience constipation. So, hey, Marina, what about muscles?
Well, Adrian, I actually was going to give you a shot because I'm the one who does the weightlifting around here, and you are just the beginner of resistance training. But it's true. As we age, we lose our muscle mass, and hence the muscle mass. It's really interesting. The muscles actually act as a reservoir for our water. And
Mhm.
so they suck up that water and hold it on to us. So the less muscle mass we have, the more likely we are to get dehydrated because we simply can't store enough water.
Research did show that older adults have a lower percentage of total body water content compared to younger ones. So we can't store as much as they do. So that's why we get dehydrated also very easily.
Yeah. And then there's other factors, like lifestyle factors, like, for example, joint pain, mobility issues, arthritis. When you're older and you're in pain, you don't feel like getting up and getting a drink of water. You don't feel like making the effort. And sometimes you'll just kind of just ignore the urge, even when it's faint.
Mhm. And of course, the other one is temperature. So let's face it, when we were younger, we could tolerate heat, we can tolerate cold. Especially if heat is like you're in the sun for a little bit or just a little bit higher temperature and you get overheated so much easier. As we get older, we could just tolerate heat. Now we can't anymore. So it becomes a lot harder to maintain that healthy body temperature, which is 37 degrees. So it's easy to end up dehydrated, especially if you're in the sun or sweating or being in a little higher temperature.
Now, what's interesting is that the amount of water that seniors need as opposed to younger people is the same. And actually, they're saying maybe even a little bit more. Of course, there's other factors, of course, your weather, your activity level. So, you have to take that with a grain of salt, or maybe not, because sodium is not
No
very
salt. No salt.
That's right. But basically, what they're recommending is 13 cups of fluid for men and 9 cups of fluid for women. And the good news, I know it sounds like a lot. The good news is that you can count your soups and you can count watermelon and cucumbers and watery fruits and vegetables as part of that. So you don't have to drink the ginormous gallon of water to get your water intake.
No, there's tea and coffee and soups and all sorts of fluidy things.
Now, I thought it'd
Yeah.
be really nice for us to just go through and give us some tips we found here on how we can increase our hydration levels.
So, the obvious one is to eat more fruits and vegetables. They have a higher water content. Look at things like watermelon. Fruits and vegetables, they're the ones that you should have like every day because they will give you extra water content and make it easier for you to pass stool.
Hmm. Back to that constipation.
Back to the
Now,
constipation.
and actually, we touched on it as well, is eat soup. Soup is great. Everybody loves soup, but try to stick with a bone broth soup, and you will be getting that shot of collagen as well.
Exactly. The other one, what I do, Marina, is I have like a little water bottle. I fill it up before going to bed, and then I have it right by my bed. So when I get up to go to the bathroom or if I roll over and I'm thirsty, and I try to just have a couple of sips. And that gives you extra water.
And if you're bored of straight up water, I like squeezing some lemon or some lime in my water, or in the summer, I'll put fresh mint leaves in, cucumber slices. Whatever it takes for you to drink that water is going to be
Mhm.
good.
Some people, they do have it on their app. They have a little ding, 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 time for a drink. What I do is I have a glass of water with every meal. And sometimes if I drink before I eat, that also kind of fills me up and I don't eat as much. So it works for my little diet as well. So always a tall glass of water with every meal.
It's interesting when we were traveling in Europe, whenever we ordered a coffee, do you remember how our coffee would arrive
Mhm.
with a glass of water?
Always.
Yes, and they're smart because caffeine leads to dehydration. So that's one of the things you have to be mindful of. If you're counting your coffee and your teas as part of your water intake, you cannot. And you have to be careful with what you're drinking because the caffeine will take the fluid away from you.
Yeah. So let's not forget that also tea, some teas have high caffeine. It's not just coffee, right? So be mindful of that. And the obvious one, of course, is like the one we never want to talk about, but we should. It's alcohol. It does
No.
dehydrate. We know this. When you're drinking, please, for every glass of alcohol, a glass of water. That's the rule. Don't shake your head, Marina. So avoid alcohol. And if you can't, like Marina and I, and we partake in a little bit of the dipping of the good stuff, let's put a glass of water with every drink beside us. Drink of wine, drink of water. Drink of beer, drink of water. Beer will dehydrate as well.
Okay, and then there's the high sodium foods, and I think we're all familiar with those, the
Yeah.
pretzels, the chips, the jerky, the sausage, the deli meats, the charcuterie. I love charcuterie.
Charcuterie. We got to have those. Those are great, but they are high in sodium, mindful of what you put on your snacky. And if you do, then drink water. Drink more water as long as you know that.
The ones we don't think of that are not as obvious, like ketchup and mustard,
Mhm,
pickles, relish, those,
mhm.
are all high sodium foods, but you know what? Did you know that sugary foods and drinks also dehydrate you?
Oh, that's another topic. Sugary drinks. Yes,
Mhm.
sugar. But let's talk about also fast food. So many people go to fast food. I know I'm guilty just to drive through. They are usually very high in sodium. And for that, you got to compensate. Drink more water.
Yes, and don't have a Coke with your McDonald's meal there. Fruit juices can cause dehydration as well, and sweetened teas. What happens is they pull the water out of the cells to flush out the excess sugar, and
Mm.
that's why sugar dehydrates you. That's the science behind it. Other Dehydrating foods include spicy foods. They make you sweat more, and that causes you to release more fluid. Hence, you get dehydrated. And also, here's an interesting one because we're actually proponents of protein, is high protein foods. Now, eating a high protein diet can lead to dehydration because your body uses more water to process protein. That could also lead to your favorite topic. Say it.
No.
Constipation.
Not again. Okay. So just remember, take that water bottle. It's what I do to bed. Take it with you when you drive. Take it with you when you visit your friends. Just carry it with you. Have it like a little child beside you. That's your best friend. And a sip here and there will make so much ground.
I like what you said about the water bottle being your best friend and also being mindful of the company that you're keeping along the way on your road of aging well. And remember, we would love to hear from you and your tips on how you stay hydrated. Drop us a line.